Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rei-Lin, and I'm back finally after several weeks of being on the road, and a week or so of vacation that was very much required for my sanity to stay intact. I am back once again, going to be doing some armored warfare once more. We're back in the saddle, and a lot of things have been happening since I've been kind of out of it as far as video making is going. But I'm going to go ahead and jump straight back in anyway and bring everyone up to speed with a few things that have been going on. Of course, it's been out for a little while now, but new premium tank, the AMX 10 RCR, it's still the same tank as the AMX 10 RCR Bastille Day tank that went into the game just a few months ago. I'm not going to do a review on the normal non-Bastille Day version of the AMX because it is 100% identical to the Bastille Day tank minus the Bastille Day paint job. It's exactly the same in every respect. The stats are identical, and it's still a really good tank destroyer for the money. It's going to run you 9,000 gold. And to be honest, if you did not like the package deal from the Bastille Day, a lot of people probably did not because it was, kind of an inflated price. This is still a really good tank. I mean, if you want to see how the tank plays, more specifically for a full match, you can just look up my Bastille Day review of the AMX, and it's 100% identical. Just now you can actually put your own camouflage patterns on the tank, and that's pretty much the only difference. And yeah, it's still a really good tank. They did have some events going on that if you basically had to play 5 games of PvP or PvE, and you got handed a free tank. That free tank was the IS-7. Now, what was a tier 10 main battle tank in World of Tanks is busted down to a main battle tank at tier 3 for armored warfare. And honestly, I'll probably do a small review of the tank. Essentially, almost anyone that was interested in getting it got it. It's a free tank, and I was hoping it wouldn't be, overpowered or anything like that, and I don't believe that it honestly is very overpowered at all. I actually think it really kind of sucks. I mean, compared to the Type 59 Legend, we got that pretty much for free too. It leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, you're really going to have to push that tank for having a full complement of crew skills just to bring it in line to be mostly playable, because stock IS-7 for Armored Warfare, it's really bad. It's not good at all. I will highlight that tank just in case a few people didn't get the chance to get it. They may sell it at a later date as part of like a package deal. They seem to be enjoying the package deal stuff as always. But if it's just by itself for a lot of gold, it's completely not worth it. It looks great. It really does look good. And but it's just a terrible tank. It really is. It does have a lot of the turret armor that made the IS-7 badass, but other than that, it's just not very good. Even once you get it completely decked out with a full complemented, a fully updated and upgraded crew and all of that, it's still just not that good. For tier 3, you're just driving around. It's fairly dominating. Nothing's going to go through the turret. If you remember World of Tanks, the big bell turret that the IS-7 had made it pretty much indestructible if it went hauled down, but it has really terrible gun handling and only 3 degrees of gun depression, so it's not that good. I'll do a separate video. It'll be a quick video for sure because there's not a lot to talk about with the IS-7, unfortunately. I was hoping he would be kind of at least on par with all the other tier 3s. In some ways, I guess you could say it is, but in other ways, I don't think that it's... I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's a free tank. I'm glad we got it. It's a pretty tank to look at and drive around, but in actual gameplay, it's just a little bit bleh, in my opinion. In other news, of course, Global Operations finally made its debut. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people did not like it. I have yet to get in there with enough time to do a full-on review of it and give you my opinions on it. I'll be doing that as the weeks roll by. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes coming to it. There were some negatives that people were pointing out, that there's just so much stuff going on that it's hard to figure out what the hell you're supposed to be doing, and there's not really much help as far as warnings that pop up on the screen to say, hey, go do this now, go do that now. It's just a lot of chaos and a lot of people just not knowing what the hell to do. As time goes on, I'm sure that'll change, as with most anything, as people learn how to deal with whatever they're doing out in the field on a certain map. It becomes apparent what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. So I can't really knock the game for just having a new gameplay mode that people haven't figured out yet. That's kind of the point. You got to do some learning, and then it kind of takes on another dimension as people start learning new places to go and how to get to certain areas of the map with the most efficiency to keep themselves from losing the match. And of course, they've done the whole patch 0.18 where they've redesigned the garage. Many of you probably noticed immediately that the base is now no longer a thing. Everyone pretty much got all level 5 buffs from all of the buildings that used to be a part of the base, but it has been removed. You're no longer required to log in and collect any kind of resources for your base. It's just not even there anymore. They added a way that you can do full screen screenshots, and actually you can take a screenshot in certain areas and record video straight from the game to an MP4 file or an AVI file and watch it back. Kind of like a replay that you're looking at right now, only it's you and it's an actual video and not just a replay file. So a lot of changes have hit Armored Warfare, and I've got to get really back into it. I finally got a little bit of time off before I'm off to the races again on my next job. But in the meantime, I'm definitely going to be jumping back into Armored Warfare with both feet, trying to get some footage of the IS-7 rolling around as it is in the game, and get some global operations stuff going on so that people can decide for themselves if, you know, you're more of a casual kind of player like me, if you like it, if you don't like it. And of course, there's another thing that came out, and it was end of October up to early November, was the Shark Tanks. The Shark Tanks were, of course, a package deal. 4 different tanks that were tricked out with, you know, Shark Tank looking decals. It's another, I don't want to say cash grab, but in essence, that's pretty much all it was. It was another 4 normal tanks made into premium tanks. Whether or not they were worth it, again, it cost you about $63, $64 to get 4 tanks. Not that the tanks were bad. You had a T-80 in there, you had a Fox in there, things like that. Stingray 2 was in there. But it seems like Obsidian they really want to eventually have a premium tank version of every tank in the damn tech tree, is what it seems like to me, and they want you all to pay for it. I'm not going to comment much on it. If you bought it at the time that it was available between October and the 1st of November. Hopefully you got it and got a good deal, or felt it was a good enough deal to get it. I got it, of course, because, hey, more premium tanks is more things that I can do reviews on and warn you about. Unfortunately, I was on the road. I couldn't do a complete review of the tanks or the package before it was there and then gone. But hopefully in the future I'll have a lot more time to do so with the next package deal that I'm sure they're thinking hard and long about bringing out. Those tanks weren't bad tanks. Like I said, you had a T-80, you have a Stingray 2. They're not bad tanks. It just seems like they're trying to push a lot of premium tanks. I would assume it's for the sake of people that either are new to the game and don't want to just be stuck with low tier 3 or 4 or 5 tanks, and people that may not have went down a certain line of tanks like the Stingrays, or maybe even the Russian main battle tank line, which I think would be kind of foolish because the Russian main battle tanks, in my opinion, are pretty good tanks. But maybe you didn't. Maybe you stuck with the Leopard line, and that's your favorite line in the game. But they throw in some premium tanks for other nations because they want people to try them out. And maybe you go, hey, okay, the T-80 is definitely not a bad tank. Maybe I'll start actually going down the tech tree. They did have the advantage of coming with full level 5 crews, which means they had both of their skill slots open. And so that is one thing. And of course they had special decals as they were Shark tanks. And so overall, a lot of things have been hitting Armor Warfare. Of course, it had to hit when I couldn't really be on top of things, and I do apologize for that. I'll try to keep ahead of the game from now on. I do appreciate everyone that has stuck around. I appreciate everyone that keeps coming back and sending me comments and giving me the encouragement to keep going. I will be on the road here next week once again, so I will not be able to put up anything or record. But as we're rolling into the end of November and into December, my travel schedule opens up quite a bit, and I'll be able to put up more videos as the weeks roll into the new year. And so hopefully you'll stick around for some of that. I'm going to get some reviews up on, like I said, the IS-7. I'll talk a little bit more in depth about the shark tanks in case they come back. Again, a lot of these tanks do make a reappearance here and there, such as the wolf tanks. They came back for a small period of time. So I'll go ahead and talk about them more in depth in another video. The same with the IS-7. If you weren't able to pick it up, I'm sure it will come back at some point as part of a package deal, or maybe they'll add it to the actual tech tree and allow you to buy it just for the gold right off the bat. And if that happens, you'll have all the knowledge from me, at least in my opinion, on whether you should buy it or not. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I didn't want to go into too much detail right now. I just wanted to get a video out there to let you know that I am still alive. I'm back from my vacation. I'm back from traveling overseas. If you have some comments, or if there are certain tanks you want to see me do a review on, or do a replay on, and talk about it so that you have an idea of how the tank plays before you buy it, or before you even go down a tech tree line, I'm more than happy to try to take that on and show you guys and gals what's good, what's bad with the whole tanking world. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. If you like the video, please press the like button down below. It does help out my channel. If you have not had a chance to subscribe to my channel, you can click down at the bottom of your screen right now, and that'll get you every update when I go live with a new video, and hopefully you'll enjoy it from here on out. Anyway, that's going to do it. Take care, and I'll talk to you all next time.